everybody. Welcome back. It's Hillary from INFX TV, and I have Nate with me.
Hey!
He has his own YouTube channel, and he does a podcast called I Can't Even With Myself.
Yes. It's the most, you express it. You have to it's an expression.
Yeah, no, it's great. You guys, if you're not subscribed to him, if you don't know what we're talking about, go check it out. I'm an INFP, Nate's an ENFP, and we've been wanting to talk for a while about
This is going to go wild.
Yes. Yeah. And I get mistyped a lot as ENFP, and I love ENFPs, so I wanted to have him on here to offer a little bit of visual and audio examples of how we differ.
If this isn't more visual and audio enough, right?
Right.
It's like, oh no.
Yeah, Nate, tell us like your full, because you also are into socionics. So like, what's your
just
type?
the full scope?
Just lay it out.
So it's ENFP, IEE, any subtype, 7 wing 6 SPSO. I mean, Hermes Dionysus split, basically. Hestia anima. There we go. That's all I got.
Yes.
I mean, if anyone's into, what is it, astrology or whatever, it was what, Libra. I'm a Libra sun, Taurus moon, Aquarius rising or something.
Oh my God. I hope all that's in your profile.
No, it's not. Not everything's on the profile. But can you imagine like a Tinder bio or something like that? Like,
oh yeah, no, that's exactly, dude, that is what I'm picturing. I'm like, oh yeah, everyone like they read that and they like know your deepest, darkest secrets. Like,
this is what I
strengths
don't.
and weaknesses.
If I were to do any dating profile, it's very, hi, I'm me. Take it or leave it. I also can bake. Like at the bottom.
Yeah,
like,
bakes,
pie's ready.
drinks.
Yeah, that's all it is. Just here for a drink and a chat, and that's it. If you don't like it, at least we had a drink and a chat. So.
That's so good. There's value there. I love it. Pretend I've got water.
Oh, I have hand sanitizer.
Yay.
That's my gig today.
We're staying safe. Hope you guys are staying safe.
Oh, that's right. I hope you guys get to enjoy this fun moment. 2 NFP moments, right?
Yeah,
for those
NFP
out there.
moment. Hopefully you are.
There's no TI between us. It's fantastic.
Okay, wait, pause. Tell me about that statement.
Oh, TI for ENFPs is horrible. Like, it's just...
Well, right. It's your trickster.
Yeah, it's such a hard thing. Like, I respect it. my face kind of goes like, I respect it. It's a nice function. Like, I understand its use, but again, that's under the framework of TE. Like, that's how I actually kind of got to that point. Like, I respect it. I value it for what I can get out of it. I think that's very TE of me to say that in that sense.
No, it is because TE is wanting the final line. Give me the...
Yeah. And like, I don't like, I love to have a TI user around to do the dirty work or grunt work in that sense when it comes to the logic, because I could do it too. It's just, it's going to take me a while to just sitting there staring at, let's say, a data thing. Like, I tried doing programming, but I only got through it because I had the feeling inside that I needed to get it done. So I just picked what I got to use. So I did it. But if you're going to ask me if I know any programming, I'd tell you, no, I don't. Because only for the moment I got to know what to do with it.
Yeah, dude, programming is a great example. I took a programming class in college, and I think every time I had to do homework, I cried. It was horrible. For me, I feel like TI things like that, like it's like a cave system. And I think programming is such like a good real life example, because you can even see like the network, right? Cave or program, whatever, like they're little tunnels of information. And when I'm programming, I get lost. I'll forget like what's even going on. And if it gives you an error, right? Some programs are like, oh, well, there's an error, but we don't know where it is. We're not going to tell you. So
exactly.
It's like, how am I even supposed to remember? And like,
you have to go all the way from the very
down.
top.
Yes, you do. It's a whole system.
Nope.
It's so hard. Yeah, it takes
like
a lot.
Hard pass. Like, no, we're not doing that. I cannot be bothered. It's just, Like oh gosh, every time I think about it, like I tried programming bots because I created a server one time and I wanted to make an RPG server. And I was like,
Oh.
okay, let's have bots, and then like we could do this table. Like it's very D&D style is what I wanted to do. But
Oh.
my background is like dungeon master. Like it's making the story, providing the
I
brainstorming for
figured,
people,
dude, you'd be
right?
literally perfect at that. Oh my God.
But but if I was alone at the time and I didn't have any TI people or even high stack TE people to kind of help me out through the whole process. So I'm like
Mhm.
sitting there going like, okay, well, I know I have to devote maybe 5 hours of pain into this. So I'm gonna sit here. I packed up all my food, like I had everything ready on the computer, and I'm just like headphones in, let's do this. And like you said, like
Go.
when you were having your homework, you just crying. I'm like, and
It's
then we
painful.
typed the program, and then we typed it, and then we press enter.
Dude, totally.
Right? But and we're like, it worked, and then you're like, yes, and then you have to go back again because you have to make another one. No, like,
Yeah.
miss me with that. I can't.
Oh, okay. Well, do you do anything to engage? Like, do you actively try to engage your TI? Because, okay, so my theory, and this is like maybe MBTI theory, but just in my own life, for me, my trickster is extroverted sensing.
Mm,
And I notice when I engage that, I actually feel so much more relaxed and so much more like I'm a capable human and I'm me. Like, I actually feel more me, more able to like stand in the world, which I think is a problem for INFPs. They're not out in the world. Like, they're,
mm,
you know what I'm saying? So, like, for you,
yes.
how do you notice that TI?
Well, if I'm not being offended by it, if I'm not being
Oh,
poked by it, it's actually like you said, it can be a very for me it makes me feel competent, which I don't usually feel. Like I don't understand how that
mm,
works because it's very easy for me to know what another person's skill sets are, what makes another person awesome, and that's very easy for me to point out. But if you were to
ooh,
return that and be like to think that if I'm right or if I believe that my logic is correct or something, that's weird territory for me.
do you not
And
trust it?
I don't ever trust it. It's like it's funny because I don't even trust I feel like I don't even trust my FI. Even though my FI has never been wrong, it's so crazy. Like
Wow.
I don't always trust my FI, but then like I
Yeah, I'm
probably
curious
should.
about that too, actually.
I
But we'll
probably
get
should be
there.
trusting it. Well, I've had situations where I'll have an intuitive moment with my FI and I just don't listen to it until 6 months later and it was been right all along. And I'm going, oh, well, maybe I should
Okay,
start thinking about it.
that's interesting that you say that. Like, I feel like you just talked about FI, like NFJs talk about NI.
Ah,
It's kind of like a gut feeling.
yeah, it
You
feels like a
gotta
gut
follow it.
feeling.
Yeah.
Um,
Like the
it
differences between NI and FI. I've had people even ask me this on my channel, like, aren't you just describing, if I'm describing NI, they'll be like, isn't that just FI? And I'm like, no, but I totally get why.
well we share it, like the gut feeling moments, like we share that. Like that's not like it's general for all of us. Like I think the NFJs with their FE being gut feelings also, like they can just
Mm,
tell, what everyone's feeling in the room. But like for us with FI, it's less about that. I know in sociology it talks about your relational distance, so you kind of get a feel about how the status of your relationship with a person almost instantly, and you kind of are focused and honed on it. So
huh.
the talk isn't hard. Like I've had situations where I've been around people and I can just tell I'm not gonna like them. Or I can tell that
Yeah.
this is gonna be a good or this is gonna be bad. And
Yes.
it
Within
flavors
seconds.
within seconds and it flavors everything. Like I'm very not attuned to the conversation. I'm like seeking to be distracted. I'm like doing all kinds of things. And people were looking at me like, wait, what's up? Like what's going on? Like you're just not I'm like, I don't like them.
Yeah.
I don't like their energy. It's annoying to me or something. Like something's
Interesting.
telling me that this is not going to end well, and I'm going to take
Well,
a step back.
so you interpret it because like you could interpret that multiple ways. You could interpret it as there's something wrong with that person, or they could be triggering something in you and there's actually something going on in you that you're not ready to deal with.
Ooh, that's a beautiful angle. I don't usually think of it that way actually, because I have such a hard time processing. Like
Mm.
if you were to do into objective personality, like I'm definitely sleep last because I don't
Oh,
process things long
Nate,
enough.
I want to understand OP more. Like I just joined someone, Benjamin. He invited
Yes.
me to join the group, so I did.
It's an interesting place. It's an interesting system. 512 different combinations is
Yeah, no,
actually
I'm curious, and like Jeffrey talks about it all the time, and I'm like, I've learned some of it. He's typed me like we've tried,
okay. So
but
what's your
he doesn't. We haven't settled on it. I say he's typed me,
uh
but he's gone back and forth and back and forth.
gotcha. But does he know
And
at least your last at least? Or what does he think is your
okay, yeah,
dominant or
so I'm pretty sure I'm last.
gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Blast, yeah. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, for sure. I mean, and I was thinking about this recently of like, look, look at my YouTube channel. How often do I post? You know what I mean?
People thought I was blast first because I kept posting these. I'm like, no, honey, I've been scheduling. Like,
Yeah.
these are all strategies. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not because I'm like, oh, I'm just going to create. Like, Megan is blast first. She will be like,
Oh
I'm
my
gonna
God,
live
yeah.
stream, and I'm just
Yeah.
gonna talk to people, and I'm just gonna read a book from freaking Linda. What is it?
Yeah.
And then people are
Oh
just gonna be
shoot,
like,
yeah.
right? Everyone's engaged and like, I want to listen, and I'm going, no, I don't.
What
I
a
don't like that.
superpower.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it seems like a superpower. Like I can definitely when I do those things, I love it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But getting there is painful. And like just talking about Megan briefly, like it doesn't seem painful for her. That just is like her natural.
Yeah. She's just
This
like,
is
oh
just
yeah,
what she does.
facilitating, please. Like
Right.
this
And
is
for
my
me, I'm like,
job.
oh, I can do it, but I have to put energy, like
We
purpose.
have to think
This is
about
what
it.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
do. Yeah, for sure. Like once I'm there, good. But
See, I have that with sleep. Like if I need to sit down and process an information, when I'm in it, it's fine. Like it's actually really great. But when just to start it, like to actually sit there and like look through my work and sit through 2 hours of a video of a YouTube, I'm like, I can't. I'm just
okay.
when I was in a video, like I was watching not in a sorry, I was watching a video of they were discussing some book and I was like, okay, let's try. Let's give it a shot. Let's push that sleep and let's make it happen. I'm like looking at it and listening. And then I was just like, there's no, like, my mind started wandering. I was like, there are no feelers in this chat room. There is
Oh,
no fun. Everyone's just dull. Everybody's just like, there's there's no fluctuations in the voice. Everyone's like, and then they explained it like this. And I'm going, okay. And would you like fries with that? Like, it's just, I was so done. I'm like 5 minutes in. I'm like, I'm out. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm out. I can't stand it. Like this is
oh.
no. It's so hard. I don't know. I don't know how
Okay,
other
so
people
then,
can
so
do it.
how is that different than consume? To me, what you're describing sounds like consume.
Like consume you mean or something? Because like
Oh, I don't know if it's good. I don't know.
I don't know. Because like for me, when it
Shit.
comes to information, like I love consuming everything. Like we're any
Okay.
users, right? We eat. But it's those things where I have to sit and like process it is the thing that annoys me. Like if I'm sitting alone, this is probably why meditation is like a hard thing. I know we were talking about
Right.
earlier.
No, this makes sense.
Because when I'm sitting down, I'm supposed to meditate and like think about it in the total silence of 5 minutes, and suddenly my mind, because
Right.
any for me, when there is conceptual space or
Mm-hmm.
even physical space, my
Yeah.
NE wants to fill it
Yep.
automatically.
Yep.
I think of it as like an ocean and beakers, and I'm just filling in beakers everywhere, and I
Right.
can't stop doing that.
Right.
So like I'm just sitting here going like, okay, well I'm gonna try to turn that off. I'm like, like nope, it's just not happening. The
Yeah.
silence becomes deafening. It's like I'm already reeling back from it. Like I can taste it. Nope. Hard
Right.
path.
No, I hear you. I mean, I feel like I'm a little well because I am an INFP. I think I have an easier time doing meditation. And like I said, like because Nate and I were talking a little bit before we started recording, we were talking about meditation and how I'm like on day 7 or 8. See, I skipped a word. Do you ever do that? I skip
All the
words.
time. I'm horrible at
And I
typing
will
anything
forget if
like
I'm
this.
explaining something to someone like so many times. So like I used to be married to an INFJ and he got used to it because like we knew each other really well, right? But like
Yeah.
I would skip certain things and he'd be like, wait, what are you talking about? How did you get from here to here? And I'm like, oh my God, I literally left out like a key thing that I just like accidentally
Because we already know, right? We
because I'm
just go
already
for it.
like it just has already bopped from here to here. I don't have even like a memory. It's like goldfish syndrome. I don't know.
Yeah, you just go boop. Do you find here's a theory I have with any that I think is really fascinating because I've found that
Oh my
us
God.
any users are actually, we don't actually know what the other person's talking about. We're just filling it in with what we also understand conceptually, what we've personally consumed with our NE. It's why
Mhm.
we like, it's like almost, I call it a very glorified guessing function, because we just fill all this information
Yeah.
in, but we somehow
Yeah.
get along really well.
It's a play.
It's
We
so
like to
fast.
play. Any likes to
Yeah.
play, right? And
So it's really no
yeah.
one's wrong or right. We're in a realm where
It
this
wants an
is,
idea. It has an idea. This person also does, and you're boom, 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 boom.
and
Like
it's nice. Like,
it is nice.
by the
Whereas
way,
like,
Hill, this is great. I'm so happy to
oh
talk to somebody
me,
who's not and like NI, who's not FE, who's not
oh,
TI.
oh, I'm so
It's
happy.
it's great because I'm like, oh my goodness, I can finally feel myself relaxed again. Like,
Wow.
I was,
Okay. Wow, that's awesome. I'm so glad. Yeah, this is
yeah,
great. I'm really glad we're finally doing this and that it worked out.
because it's just it's. I mean, like I get along with other types. It's just that I have to put up a guard every now and then because we don't share the same functions. So we, with me and those other folks, there's always going to be a break in mental wavelengths kind of connection, and
Mm,
I'm always trying to prepare myself for that, because the minute that somebody goes, well, I don't get it, and I have to explain myself, and I'm kind of like, oh my goodness, am I bad TI? I explain myself, like, are you kidding? I'd rather just
yeah.
send you like a statistics from like a Google or something.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just send you something and then you can TI it.
Yeah, and then like, and then can we move on, or can we just order a drink? Like, if you want, it's like, can I have some tequila when I want to explain this to you? Because it's just,
Oh
it's
my
not
God.
happening.
You know what I did? I recently filmed. Well, okay, wait, no, pause. I want to ask you a question.
Okay, okay.
Um, Let me focus and see if I can grab it because it's like flying away already. Damn. Yeah. Okay, I was gonna ask you, like, if you're meeting people, if you're typing people, because you just said like you feel relaxed and you feel like you can be yourself.
Yes,
Do you use that kind of a feeling in order to type people
definitely, because I base it
based
a
on
lot
how
of
you're feeling?
how I react. Yeah, definitely. Because there are, like, especially if I'm talking to SE users,
Mm-hmm.
I get a different reaction from that. Like, when I'm talking to TE DOMs, I get a different reaction from that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the FE DOMs, honey, like we sense it instantly. The minute you enter a room and they're like FE, and then I'm like, oh, okay.
You don't like
I'm like,
Effie.
no, I
This
do.
is
I love it. This is the craziest
okay.
part, is I actually love it. It's just that FE has TI underneath it, and I'm like wary of that TI. Like, it's just, it's
Oof.
there. Like, ENTPs are actually a lot more better to get along with, in my opinion, with that
Yeah.
kind of sense. But with FE, like high stack FE, there's that TI. Like, it's like kind of like if TI high stack have swords, TI low stack have daggers, and it's just hiding there, like it's just waiting, and
So
they
do
don't
you
mean anything. It's
right.
not
And I
bad.
think it's
Yeah.
like when it does come out, why it feels like such a dagger is because it's their insecurity. So they're, do you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
So you're
Mm-hmm.
feeling their insecurity on top of like your distance from it in the first place.
Oh gosh, and I'm
It's like
already
it's
gonna like,
layered.
because it's already
Yeah.
like, it's, if you're not secure with your TI, then I'm not gonna feel secure with your TI. We're
Right.
just not gonna. This is not gonna be a fun move.
Right. And
Like,
because you don't have FE, like I feel like an FE user will sense someone's insecurity and try to like pad it, but you're not going to do that. Because it's going
no,
to
because I,
make you
yeah, I just
uncomfortable.
prefer to
Yeah.
go do my own thing, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of put out the barrier and make that
Right. Not that
distance,
you
and
couldn't do it, but like it would maybe be like an intentional thing that you're going to do.
yeah, it's definitely like a preference thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm, let's say, like I'm in a room where it's only TI and FE users, like I'm not gonna complain about it, obviously. Like, I'll be fine. It's just that at the same time, at the back of my head, I can definitely feel, not that they're judging me for it. It's just that I feel that in that room, I'm the only one that's willing to admit I'm wrong, if that makes sense. Because their TI
Oh.
makes them trust their own thinking more. I don't have that. I have TE, so I trust what's outside
Even
of my
like an
mind.
INTP or an ENTP who see
Oh yes, yes. They trust their
oh.
own thinking a lot.
Well, no,
They
they
form
do,
it themselves.
but they have the NE I feel like makes them want more open maybe to like hear what
I
you
would, yeah. Which it's funny because they've learned. It's funny. This is a little, sorry, it's a little sidetrack, but I've learned how hilarious TPs have been trying to get FJs to do their will when really all they need is to ask an FP. They're the wrong people. They're talking to the wrong people.
Ooh,
Because it's
wait,
like,
tell me more about this.
because like TPs are like, hey, let's go out and do something, and then FP's like, I don't think I should do that because the people are like, I have things to do or we're busy, or my FE is like all over this place. And
Mm.
I would DM these TPs and I'd be like, you're dumb, like you're an idiot. Like
Yo,
talk
what you
to
need?
me. Yeah, like if you're gonna like if you want to do something crazy behind the scenes and like insane off the record,
Mhm.
you call us. We're the ones who don't have your one, we don't have FE. One, we don't have TI. So technically we'll take it all and we'll do with it. Like we'll have fun with it. And they're like, oh, it's like stop trying to coerce your FJs to do stuff for you. That's not how they do.
Interesting. Yeah,
Like you
you're
come
right.
to
And I think FJs are focused on their mission so much of the time. That's why they are in, well, especially with ENFJ as like feeling kind of like the leader archetype, the mentor archetype, the teacher. It's like
yeah.
they're on their path,
they're
dude.
they're on a pedestal somewhere and they're busy with that whatever realm they are, so you can't really tell them what to do because they're busy. What about us? Like we're very like we're here to play. We're here to have a good time.
Yeah, but I think that's such the beautiful thing about MBTI and about learning about other people is like there are going to be people who are going to blaze the trail, and if
Mm-hmm.
everyone's blazing the trail, like nothing is going to actually like get done. You need like
Mm-hmm.
community, you need groups, right? You need like force. And so I feel like I've personally, maybe that's why I'm talking about this now, but I personally struggled with that of like especially
Okay.
being a 9 of like having my own like vision or thing that I want to do and following it. I'm really good at like helping other people achieve their dreams.
Oh.
That's like my specialty. And it, bothered me. It got to a place where I think it was super unhealthy. And
Okay.
for the last like couple years, I've been trying to be like, how do I balance that? Because I do think that being in kind of like a supportive, helpful role is more of actually where I can be fulfilled and also like have the people around me be fulfilled. Like it's actually
Mm-hmm.
fulfilling to me, but I somehow need to like make sure that I'm still doing things for me.
Yes.
Like
I've
striking
been
that
I've been
balance.
scared of like using, let's say, our FP powers in building somebody up who turns out to be a bad person. You know, if you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like you've actually put
you've
in your effort,
invested.
you've
Yeah.
invested, and this person turned out to be not aligned with your values at all and like was usually
You
just
so you
using
don't
you.
but okay. I don't think you would fall into that trap. Oh, you just like
I disappeared for a second. Oh
yeah,
god, what happened?
no,
I
you're
died.
no, you're good. You're good.
Okay, no,
Sure.
it's crazy because it's like no, because it's happened to me before. Maybe because I'm speaking from experience. Because
Okay.
ENFPs like we're really fun, we're very whimsical. At least I am,
Mhm.
and I definitely fall into that. I know other ENFPs don't. Like you have the fours and the twos who don't really come off like me, very all over that place. But at the same
Mhm.
time, like my experience is that like I've been on the end where I was used and people saw me for what I could do, which was seeing people's potentials and telling people, like making them feel good. That's actually something like I could say I'm really good at,
Yeah,
being
I
there
think
and
so
telling them
too.
that they're awesome and all that stuff. Like
Mhm.
I'm definitely a complimenter in that aspect, but
Mhm.
then they decided to take advantage of it because that was who I am, and that was where I felt like you said, like that's where I felt fulfilled, is giving people this knowledge that they're open to become whatever they want to become. And so I would do this, invest so heavily into this one person who then returned that back to me negatively. And it didn't
Yes.
really, it was a
Okay.
weird combo because then suddenly I
Right.
realized, oh my goodness, now I feel empty, but my
Mhm.
only like action is just to constantly just spew compliments. So like I'm just spewing positivity and I'm just taking in negativity. Like nothing's going on. So one of my
Dang.
biggest changes was telling myself, convincing myself, I was like, okay, well, first I have to reverse that moment for me. If I can turn back at least maybe 10% of the compliments I tell other people to myself, then I can at
Mhm.
least be a little bit more sane, because I was gonna go insane if I don't. And
Yeah.
I'm just everybody's tail in a way. It felt like I have a feeling, I'm getting a disgusted feeling of how I became that year. I was like, no, like no, this
Yeah.
isn't pretty at all. But yeah,
Yeah.
like it's insane. I don't know. It's one of those
Wow.
things. That's why I kind of like I doubt it, and like I've been careful in a way because there are people like that in the world. And, my
Yeah.
NE has told me that, or has at least I've learned via my NE and exploring other folks, that not everybody has your values in the best of their intentions, like in their hearts kind of thing. So even like I've accepted that
That's
even if,
hard.
right, and I've accepted
Yeah.
though that even if we don't agree on a value, I still want the basic decency to be there,
Yeah.
because I want to be able to be productive together. Like my TE kicks in. Like I want to be productive together. I want to get to that point. But at the same time, like please, I don't want to value like to see a person be like, you know, like where it's okay for them to do certain things and they've rationalized it. And it's just, I mean, I'm the king of rationalization. Like I do it all as a 7, but it's just sometimes people think that they could get away with certain types of things, and I get really uncomfortable with it. And when I get that vibe, I'm like, I'm gonna listen to my FI today. I'm just not gonna get
Good for
involved.
you. Yeah, and it's hard because I think the FI sometimes, like at least this is how I feel, and I want to. Oh, you just popped away. That's fine. You'll be.
Oh no, I'm still here. I'm still here. Turns out my phone isn't charging, which is very odd.
Oh.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
so I hope the
Are you
audio.
good
Like
over there?
no, I think the audio is good. I'm just gonna quickly shift this.
Okay, I mean, I can still hear you. I can see you now.
You can still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I love it because everyone's gonna be like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Oh no, we're gonna shift today."
Woo!
So yeah. Anyways, yes.
Okay, yeah. So what I was curious, or what was I gonna say? Damn. Something about FI. Oh yeah, of how. Okay, well, and this is kind of interesting because this will bring us to like talking about like maybe the magic of the second function and how
Gotcha.
like FI might be more conscious for you than it is for me because it's my dom, so I'm kind of like always just derping around in it. But so FI for me sometimes can seem like so intense in the way of like trying to figure out like what to do. Like I'll approach FI or FI will approach me. I don't even know. Like what's the order there? But like but like okay, so you can come at things from like this person's good or bad. You can look at the intention and then you can look at like what should I do? How do I want to hold myself? How does the universe want to like interpret like the ultimate like good or bad or whatever going on here? And I feel like mine can just get confused sometimes. It has a hard time like because I'm so in tune with the FI from this perspective, the FI from this perspective, and this one and this one and this one, that a lot of times they can clash with each other and I end up not knowing what to do. And it's
so interesting because it's
overwhelming. Like I'm
maybe
lost in it.
Yeah, I've never really interviewed like or really talked to a person who's like an INFP this in depth before, because I've just learned how intertwined my FI and TE have been. Like no value of mine can be real unless there is an applicable use for it. So it's that's why sometimes it's uncomfortable when like dealing with other people's FI, because I always look for the applicable thing right away with it. Like it's in like at the same time I also can't weigh any logical or TE moment without factoring my FI. Like they have to be married at all costs. So it's always very no choice. Like we are going to be married all throughout this whole entire gig. So it's so fascinating to hear that which is kind of crazy for me, because it's like I guess I've never. That's such a weird, interesting way to look at the world. Like if you take in the FI of other people,
Right.
and that's it. Like that's where it's kind of pauses for a moment to like take it. That's so insane. Like I'm always kind of like I'm like marveling at that, because that would just take away your NE and SI must be so married.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm thinking. As you're saying your FI and TER, I'm like, oh, okay, NE and SI for me. Like,
right? I maybe that's why I think INPs are so good at it. Like they're so
dude,
good at
yes. There's something, I bet that you think that there's something about us that seems grounding.
I do. I really do. Because it's almost as if you guys have a better grasp on a practical way of NE that I can never hold on to. Like I can only dream of that kind of NE for me. But it's when I see INFPs and INTPs kind of go about their business, it's always there's a tether to reality that I actually have to pull out the string first, but you guys have it already tethered. So it's already kind of really cool.
One foot's on the ground and we're holding like all the balloons up there and trying to hold you from flying.
Yeah, like it's already very clear, and I'm really curious and really impressed by it, because
Huh.
Like I'm doing this all by myself, trying to be like, I'm trying to pull a string here, and it's just not happening. And then like, INFPs are like, oh, by the way, have you seen my string? It's like,
Oh my God, this is so fascinating. When you first told me about this, I was just like blown away when you were like, oh yeah, INPs and like the power of NE. And I was like, what? Like, or would you
yeah.
say to me like, oh, your NE is strong, but yeah, it's I don't know, it's interesting and I really appreciated that because a lot of times when people talk about INFPs, they're so fucking focused on the Dom FI. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, you're moral being. And it's like, it's just
That's
I don't feel I personally
I
don't
don't
feel
think like I
whatever.
it's not all. I think they've been slinking around in the weird alleys of type communities that have that kind of opinion because when you actually meet INFPs in real life, they're really chill people. Like they're just really okay folks. Like there's really not a big deal. Um yeah, like I find it kind of funny because when you actually talk to one, you're like, well, this person's a normal human being. Like I don't really see where they're coming up with that. Actually, can I add on a little bit on why I think INP's NE is so interesting and like
Yes,
fast?
please. Yes, because then I want to say something about how FIs in um EFPs seem like they get it. Like they're like they
Oh,
use it better than me.
that's so fast. That's so fast. Okay, so
Yeah, so you go first. Go on.
so with NE and INPs, like there's two. I guess there's two ways I could go into it, but I kind of come from. There's a side of me that's very like into socionics, and there is a measure of dimensionality that they talk about it in there. So I could be wrong. There's not going to be TI user out here going like you're wrong. I'm like, well, honey, this is a room with no TI. Just take it. You take it. So there's a theory on dimensionality where your lowest function, so not your base function, your lowest element is one dimensional and very experiential based. What it means is, and then if you wanted to quickly do a translate, your inferior, like let's say my inferior SI is it requires experience to get to a better place kind of thing. Like
Mm,
it requires an external, like someone needs to teach me good SI for me to actually even acknowledge its existence or its use for me. And then the
right.
mobilizing, which is the TE for me, it is like I pretend like I think I'm good at it, but I'm not. It's one of those things I think I'm
Oh.
flexing on it. Like there's a lot of like the whole theory of flexing your tertiary function
Oh
because you
fuck.
think
Oh my God, I get it. Yeah, no, absolutely, dude.
everyone's like, oh my goodness, you're so good at TE. And I'm like, no.
Right.
And then comes the creative function or creative element, which is your 3D um, dimension or three-dimensional one, which I think is really fascinating because comparing it to your 4D, they there are interesting, like of course an NE DOM has a lot of NE. Like of course that's a thing, but I like to use the analogy of air. That's my air. Like I breathe NE. Like I wake up, I look, it's NE. You know, like that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
that's everything I see in the world is through the lens of NE. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
my creative element that I'm dealing with is something that's more focused. It's a tool for me. So
Mm.
FI to me is a tool, but then for you, INPs, NE is a tool. So it's so fascinating to come to that conclusion that it looks like when I see INPs go about their business, it's like they're using the air I breathe as a tool to get their stuff done. And it's very like it's blowing my mind because
Dude.
because they when you guys get creative, like when you guys gonna sit down and make a story, like they get it done, and there's like a story and it's out there, and I'm like, I'm still sitting down dealing with my NE all over the place, and then
Oh.
and I get distracted midway, and I'm going like, well, this is like really fun, and I find that my NE is very reactive only. Like I it works
Mm.
better when I'm just
Instead
normally
of creating.
yeah, like it's better from like my NE is way more like I feel like I'm more comfortable when I'm casually NEing rather than forced NEing. Because if I have to force
Mhm.
it, it comes off short or comes up short. But then for INPs, there is no coming up short. It's the tool for them. So it's like when the FI has
Oh.
the feeling, the NE can be just like, oh well, guess I got this idea, you know, in my little Batman belt here ready to happen. And I'm like, oh, where'd you get that? Where'd you pull that out of that? Why you just pulled that out of your hat? And they're like, yeah, we did. I'm going like, the heck?
Wow. Yeah, okay, I get that. I get it. Well, and I think maybe it seems like magic to you because like the FI is doing so many like checks over and over, that like the NE is also going, and the NE after so many checks is going to notice something and pick it out. So like the FI is like looking and looking and looking, and then the NE's like, there's something, there's something, there's something.
Yeah, it's just
Never, this is the first time I've described it this way, but like this is the thing about talking with other people, right? Like I love this because what you're saying is giving me like all this.
I actually have a strong physical, like an actual example that happened. And I used this before when I was, because I took art back in high school and I was paired with an INFP. And our differences when it came to creating was very evident because during the because we have things like a brainstorming period where you have a week or two where you just produce a draft, like a rough
I
draft.
hate that. Sorry,
really?
Just say.
So,
yeah.
And I said this, I know I've said this before, but I want to say it again for the folks, for the folks in the back to keep listening.
Folks in the back, yeah.
So what it was they asked you to create 10 pages of rough drafts that you would pick one, and then that's what you start your project on. Then you spend the next 2 weeks creating the project, and then you have your last week kind of presenting the project. That was how it is every month, right?
Okay.
So you have like a period to think about it, play your ideas, and make it happen. Me being in the NE dom in the house, I produce 10 drafts every day.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So,
right. This is perfect.
Well, every other day, because we had like we didn't have the same class every day. It would be like every other day because of blocks. You know how it was, like whatever it was handled. So every other day I created 10 pages worth of drafts. So at the end I would have 50 pages of ideas already like ready, and then the INFP would only maybe get 4.
Yep, absolutely.
Right, it would be 4, but then she would get really frustrated with me because she's like, how are you so creative? Like, you can just pump it out. And I started like loaning ideas to people. Like I give them like pieces of my 50 because it's like, hey, I have 50. I mean, I have a lot. Like you can have one if you can't think of one. Here you go, right? But then I was so jealous of her though because she always won awards for hers. So I was like, I don't understand why you're jealous. You're the one that won the MacBook. So like, I don't understand. I'm like, why?
Oh my
why are you
God,
angry
that's
at
so
me?
fucking
And I'm like,
hilarious.
I should be angry at you because you're so good at it. Like that's what I mean with the like, and he's just so good for them because when they finally have an idea, it's actually really good. It taps into everybody's hearts. Everybody's affected, and then they're all like, oh my God, this is such a good art. And I'm like, I can't even.
We're human.
Yeah, like I can't even hit a person's heart feels like that. Like that's so hard for me to do.
Wow.
Like, I'm there as the generator pump. Like I vomit everywhere if I need to. But for them, they're like, oh, an idea? I'm just gonna make this little pony. It's gonna be the best thing ever, and I'm gonna get an award for it. And I was like, okay, frick. Like that sounds fantastic.
Wow.
Dude,
yeah. I mean, I've definitely felt that way. I mean, when it comes to, so I like to write, but I really, really struggle. I shouldn't say can't. I've said can't in the past. I'm not going to do it anymore.
We've all been there.
We've all been there. But like, I really hate, this is what I'll say. I hate trying to write fiction. If it's especially like you said, we're like, you're doing drafts of ideas. Hell the fuck no. If I write something that's fiction, I'm writing it right now randomly with no plan. Nothing. I don't want to. It can't be for a class. That seems painful. I will write little spurts of things. Like I had a Facebook status. I don't know if you saw it, was about toast. Like
I vaguely remember it. Yeah, okay.
And I mean, I guess that's not really fiction. It's not really story. It's more just like random thoughts. But like what I mean is like the inspiration for fiction and stuff needs to be like right in the moment, and it will be the one thing I do. I'm not going to go back and fix it. I'm not going to do a million drafts of it. Like there's one thing.
Oh, that's so insane. And it's like connected to the one feeling that you must be feeling that day, right? Like there was this specific.
Yep. There must be. That's what I mean about like the FI is just like doing all these little things subconsciously and checking in, and the NE is just kind of like, oh, now's the time. This is it.
I mean, I can see this in ISFPs and ISTPs. It's like if they need to have the TI moment, their SE is just like, well, let's build it. Like, let's just make it happen. Like an ISFP is like, I don't like this person. I'm just going to get out there and move you out of the way. I was like, wow, like get up and do it things. Like, you're just human. Like,
Yes.
I'm not in that zone yet. Like there's a hesitation. Like I know with myself, there is a huge hesitation. It's nowadays it's kind of I've been trying to minimize that little fraction of a second moment that I pause and I'm like, oh no, I don't know what I'm doing. But then it's there. Like it doesn't leave, that doesn't go away because I'm an NE dom. Like it's just
Right.
I'm always gonna have a moment where I'm gonna be bombarded with 1,000 things at
Dude,
once.
this is literally why meditation would be awesome for you, because it's a chance while you're meditating and you're getting pissed, you can get in touch with your FI. Like get
Oh,
in touch with your FI and your SI.
Crystal's giving me all this like hard talk about me getting in touch with my FI. She's like, Nate, listen to your FI. And I'm like, I don't know.
Oh!
I don't know. I feel
Yeah, and I mean it might not be super pleasant because I don't think you're gonna enjoy the meditating
not as a
necessarily.
7.
But
The
like I think
unpleasantness.
but like what's gonna happen is you're gonna tap into it and you're gonna notice it, and then you're going to like what you do produce or what you do give out is going to have like what you're talking about with like the relatable quality, or like why the INFP was winning those awards. I don't know what to call that, but like I feel like you will like tap into that. That's what FI will do, like if you let yourself tend to it.
Just be open to like just
Yeah.
the pain, the every. Oh gosh, I'm already like I said it. I was like,
It's not even just, I mean, yeah, some of it is pain. I don't know.
gosh, it's so funny though because okay, well, there's another little moment because she has very emotional writing, which like taps into the soul, right? Taps into the heartstrings. Whereas for me, like I'm more into exploring different styles of writing. Like there was a time where I actually wrote a story
Yes, that makes
backwards,
sense.
like
Oh,
just for fun. Like I wrote a story and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna have like I don't want to submit it like this. I'm gonna start from the end and then like have that a little bit backwards.
oh my
Very
God,
like
I
memento.
love that. Okay,
And
so
so
like
my
this
teacher was
is
kind of like intrigued by it.
yes, okay, yeah, okay. Another thing about the difference here between like the Dom NE and the Dom FI. So I've been doing a lot of drawing. Like I've done 2 drawing challenges, each a month long. So like you do 1 drawing a day. And what I noticed was like there were certain styles of drawing that I wasn't doing. There were like certain ones that I just never like went into until like the end. I mean, it took most of a month for me to like I should show, but I feel like that's like a whole different. We could literally talk forever about all this. I'm not even gonna show. But
That
but
is
yeah,
true.
so
That is true.
I have less like I am like creative. You can see the NE in my drawings, but like trying a new style of something is not the first thing that I do. So to hear that you like are interested that number one,
That's number one. Yeah,
yeah, is
always.
it's interesting. But I like it. I look for it. Like, and actually when I read books, this is horrible and people are gonna shame me. And I'm ready
Okay.
for it. But like I will read the end of a book first.
Oh, that
And
is
then I go
delicious.
back. Isn't it
I mean,
horrible?
I'm down. I'm down for the spoilers. To be honest, like, I'm not super affected by spoilers because it feel like it works for me.
It's not, and like, okay, is it that I want a spoiler? Because sometimes I don't feel like I do it to spoil it. Sometimes I do, but
Okay.
sometimes I'm like, let me just see, like, who do we have here at the end? What is going on? What questions can I come up with? And then like I'll go back and read it.
Ooh, I have a question for that. Do you find, because like I've noticed this, I'm gonna use myself as an example. Like when
Mhm.
I engage in the SE, like I can fake it in a way, like you can see me getting things done, see me moving around and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Everyone's like, "Oh my goodness, you're getting things done! Wow, great AC!" But I am blind in those moments. Like that's the thing that terrifies me because the minute I'm interacting with the object, the world shuts, like it goes blind, and I get very insecure.
That's how I
And
feel
only
about
when
TI.
yeah. And when I step away from the object and the NE starts flowing out from it, then I can see. And I'm like, again, like I'm in
Yes.
peace. Because
Yes.
chaos is peaceful to me. So,
Yes.
right? Doesn't
Yep, I get
that's
it.
what I'm saying, right? Oh my goodness, thank goodness. Because it's like, it's crazy how that is. Like, that's why, like, I like to play music when I'm driving. It's like, I always like to be part of me to always be outside of the room while a
Mm,
piece of me is in it because
yeah.
I can't be fully invested in the moment to the point where I can't even say that I know what it's like to be in the moment because half of me is not in it,
Okay.
right? Like, am I even in the moment if I'm constantly viewing it from outside it?
Oh,
Right?
okay. Okay. Yeah.
Does
That's
it get?
interesting. It's like for you, your security is in the perspectives.
Yeah. And it's so crazy because it's like, you know, I can do it. Like I'll get it in. Like I was in trades like as my like growing up. I was in trades
Yeah.
going and like I could do it, but I'm terrified every single time I do it because it's I'm not I can't follow what everybody else is following. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like I mean as a 7 I look like I'm having fun, which is true. But
Mm-hmm.
inside it's the thing the emotion I've been repressing, which is the fear, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
you know looking into it and checking and opening that you know box. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so scared. I'm like scared of everything. But it's just you keep it in a box and then you just reframe your world and then you just kind of keep pushing on even though you're you know freaking out internally, but then you're just
Right.
gonna keep shoving that down because you don't really you know you have no use for it. So you can
Right.
and then which is probably what makes me queasy about meditation if you want to go full circle on that because I don't
Yeah.
want to have to reopen something there that I buried, right? What if I did
Yeah.
reopen here and I suddenly like because the last time I had a moment I had a sleep paralysis attack.
Oh.
I did like I tried I was doing some ASMR thing and then like this woman on the voice was like, and so we try the white noise. And she turns it on, and I went, bing, and I couldn't move. And I was like, I
Oh.
turned it off. I can't turn it off.
Oh, dude, weird. I don't know if I've ever had sleep paralysis.
Insane. I've learned that if I studied it more, it's the symptoms started going away because I now know what it is. Actually thought I was being possessed for a second. I was like, oh my goodness, is somebody taking my body?
Yeah,
I'm
dude, that's what
not
people
ready to give it
say.
up.
It's like, I'm like, damn, I don't think I've had that. I've definitely had like lucid dreaming, but that's so different.
Oh yeah,
That's,
the lucid dreaming is fun, but no, not the paralysis. Paralysis is messed up. I am just like, ugh. You can't
oh,
move a toe, but you can only blink, and like your mind's awake, but your body's asleep, and you're
I'm
just like,
so curious. I want to experience it at least once. I want to
oh
go
god.
undergo it.
Well,
Someone
there we
put me in
go,
a
right?
state. If anybody out there can put me in a sleep paralysis state, hit me up. Hit
Yes,
me
that's
up.
actually a
Don't hit
thing.
me,
Can you do that?
please.
Is that hypnotism? Is that under the realm of hypnotism?
Oh, maybe. You know what? I'm a pretty good hypnotist.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm very fascinated.
I don't professionally do this, but I think I have a knack for it.
Do you? I was like, are you like an ASMR artist on the side? Like, is there like some kind of
No,
you
I've thought
moonlight
about
as a
that. I've thought
yes,
about making an
angelic?
ASMR video. I actually have a failed ASMR video on my
Oh.
channel, which is hilarious. If you want to laugh, you guys, look at it.
Okay,
Um,
I have been trying. I've been on Jamie's DMs. I've been trying to be like, Jamie, let's make an ASMR video, like an
do it, you
ASMR
guys.
type video.
Oh my God. Oh, do it. Please do it.
And if it's not with her, can we do it? Like, Jamie, if you're listening, goodness, we can have a trio, SI Coven, make it happen.
Yeah, dude. I would
Put
watch
the
it.
people
I'd
to
watch it so
sleep.
fast. Okay, but what were we just talking about? What did I want to say?
And we were on Annie. We were on the differences. We even talked about.
Did it have to do with ASMR? No.
No, we went previously. So you were talking about your because we were talking about different experiences when it comes to like why like we because I know the big topic we had was the FI one, right? Like why
Yeah,
the
yeah.
INFP was getting awards and why I wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
um and then how you have a thing where you like you have to pick like you know what you want. I think that's really a big tell of INFPs, like they just know what they want, which
Hmm.
I think people misunderstand
Do
that a
we
lot.
though?
Well, I feel like you know internally you guys know what you want. The TE could be questionable, right? Because it's like actually getting it may be a little bit of a difficulty. But if I were to like ask you how you feel, like that's not hard to pull out, kind of thing, right? Like
Mm.
in a way, I feel
Yeah,
like that's not
usually,
hard for INFPs.
right. Even if it's like complicated, I'll just be like, well, there's a lot of things. A lot of times people will be like, how are you? And the thing for me is, I'm not going to just say I'm good. Like I'll literally tell it feels important to me to like actually tell
Yes.
you like what's going on. And sometimes that can feel, if there's multiple things happening, that's like, I just like watched you shift out of my peripheral vision.
Oh,
um, then that I can be like, oh, there's a lot of things going on, you know,
that's
there's
so
like a lot
interesting.
happening.
Okay, because I have a
But I'm
theory.
fine. Like I think people hear that and think, oh my God, something's wrong with you. And it's like, no, I
Same.
just here for you. I like just literally want to be honest. Like, and I hope you would answer me honestly. And we don't need to like dive into anything. I'm just like, you asked me how I am.
Yeah, if you have 5 hours, I mean, then we could probably get into it. But probably you don't need to do that. Okay, because I have
Right.
okay. This is a quick theory that I have been like simmering because I
Okay.
have this belief that FI operates on different time zones. So like when we what I mean is that like when we say certain things, we're not feeling it right in that moment. It's there, but then at the same time, when we do want to feel it, we feel it at the exact same intensity when we first felt it, if that makes sense.
Ooh, yeah, it's like it's somehow like archived.
Yes. And like when I was telling Megan this, where I was explaining like the feeling that I was when I walked out from my ex's house,
Mm-hmm.
I was coming from a place where the emotion behind it was very, very real, as if I was still there leaving the house. But it's 6 years, I've already dealt with it already.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've
Mm-hmm.
healed. But that's just how it is with FI. Like we will just bring it up and
Mm-hmm.
it bubbles
Can
up, and
access
it's
it.
that we access that feeling. But then at the same time, like people may find that kind of like crazy, because it's like, what the heck, like why can't you just feel it and let go? Because FE users, they do that, they feel it and then they're moved on to some other feeling. But
Right.
that's not the same for us. It's like we hold it in cryostasis for, I guess, till next time. And I was explaining to her, but it's not negative feeling, like it's not just negative. I also hold happy, positive feelings
Yeah,
too.
same.
So that's why I can say, like with people, like I say my friends right now, just because I haven't talked to them in a week doesn't mean I don't like them. I've
Yes,
paused on the happy,
absolutely.
right? I've paused on the happy feelings. The minute we meet each other again, it's like back on.
Yeah,
I love you guys
right.
again. Like it's
It
very instant.
never ends. It never goes away. Yeah,
Yeah.
FE like doesn't understand that.
They were like, "Well, you haven't talked to me yet," and I'm going, "Oh, I'm
I don't
sorry.
have
Like I
to,
just,
girl. I know
yeah,
you.
like I'm in a good, like I'm just still in a good place. Are you in a?" Then I have to return the question, like, "Are you in a good place?" Like I'm like, "Are you okay? Like I can go back up to the level again with you, like if that's what you want." Like that's why to me it's
Right.
like it's not a big deal
Exactly.
with FP, because
Yes,
if they
FI
need that,
users meet and it's something's already established there. You don't need to figure things out. It's like things are already known or you
it's
trust
already,
they're
yes,
known.
there's that trust with
Mhm.
like with FI. It's like I know with you and I, if anything, like let's say we shut this off and we're over and we're moved on, but
Yeah,
we try on another conversation, it's like as if nothing happened, like
right.
just
This is our
right, like
world. Yeah. Right.
and I
We're
think
building a
people,
Nate and Hillary world.
right, but then people are gonna find that really fascinating, like especially FE users. They're like, what the heck, you freeze feelings? And I'm like, yes, why can't you freeze the
Right.
positive
Pause,
good
put it in
vibes,
the back, do the next thing, put it
right?
back. Yeah.
And I think that's why it's so hard for us sometimes to even talk about it when someone
Yes, and
asks
to
how
even
we're feeling.
say it. It's like it's
Yeah.
there. To us, it's like, well, duh. Like, why do I have to tell you all the time? Like, duh, don't you know?
Yeah, and if they want us to open it, like we'll open it, but it'll be like 5 years worth of emotion stacked in there, right? And we're like, are you down for 5 years of a conversation? Like it's just, I mean, I don't know how you do it, but I've gone to the point where I would spend maybe a week or two just in silence, and I'll just randomly send a text message, like a long text message of my FI for my friends or something, and I'll
Yeah.
just bring up all the good things and all the happiness I'm feeling,
Aw.
and it's just kind of like that's it, like that's to me like that's so much out of me. And I find that
Yeah.
sometimes FE doesn't always understand that when I'm bringing that out, I can't always match their energy, because to me it's
Mm.
like an FI dom, like an ISFP was saying that my cookies have to be fully baked before I serve it. She's like, why would
Yeah.
you enjoy it raw when I can give it to you fully baked and ready to consume and enjoy? And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a good analogy, because
Yeah.
that's how we do with FI as FI users, right?
Right.
We simmer it.
I relate to that, especially like, oof. Get,
I
like
love that there's a
getting,
reaction.
well, like think of like relationships. Like if you're getting over a relationship, at least for me, like I feel like there are levels of what I can give in order to get in another relationship. And like I can't fake like certain things. I can't just be in a relationship with you even though like I might be in love with you. Like there are
Mhm.
certain levels I'm like I can't give this to you because I'm dealing with these other things. Like I will be able to give this to you, but you have to wait. Like I can't just dive in immediately. Whereas like other people,
Yes.
oh yeah, well, I'll dive in and like that it doesn't matter anymore or whatever. And I'm like, no.
Crystal described our FI, like just NFP FI, as very what is it? Harry Potter's Horcrux or something?
Oh,
Like where we give
Horcrux,
a,
dude,
yeah,
yes.
right? Where we give a
Okay.
piece of our soul to everybody we meet, so we can't just give it free. Like we can't just do it willy-nilly like FE can. We can't do that because it costs us our life sometimes. And it's like maybe
I'm trying to do that more.
to just be a little bit more like chill about it, because it's
Yeah.
not like we take things too seriously.
Yeah, for me, I think it's like something about like, just to go back to like my seventh function of SE, something about engaging that has helped me do like more that, take more the FE mindset and incorporate it, and like just really understand like the inherent value of my FI and trust that and be able to give it out knowing
Mhm.
like it's still there, like, and whatever level people receive will be special. Like it doesn't
Yeah,
to be the
and for them, they take it in their TI. So in a sense, it's just value. It's also valuable to them, but it's just not in the same words or communication styles that we are used to. So like
yeah,
I know with me, sometimes I would feel like off, like, oh my goodness, did you not take it? Like, did you take it wrong? Like I didn't mean for it. And then they're like, no, I took it right. It's just that I'm not an FI user. So
right,
it's just not in my style to express it in the same way you do. But
right.
it was like, she's like, but then they'll be like, they'll say something, well, let me shift it to your language. I do love you. Then we move back to the TI, and I'm like, oh, okay, because I just need to make sure, because in a way I was confused because of how it was done or it was managed or something. But I mean, that's the, like you said before, like the beauty of different types, right? Because
Yeah,
they will articulate it in a different way, which is
yeah,
also beautiful,
yes, it
right?
is. It's fascinating. I'm curious to see what people say about our interactions and about
Oh,
like differences, right, between the INFP and the ENFP. And to see if they can see like the dominant NE versus the
because they
dominant
can. I mean, I
FI.
feel like we can look at good. Like we're kind of interchangeable in a way, like NFPs in any way, like we kind of are. It's
Yeah,
the subtle ones, I think. Like when you
yeah,
really look it in, because the air you breathe, the air I breathe is different. We're operating on different. We're operating on different like gases. So,
yeah. There, gases is great. Yeah,
yeah.
I
It's
love
like
it.
we're different planets, but our planets are beside each other, so we're kind of
Yeah,
similar atmosphere. You know, it's all this
yeah. No, I
analogy,
get it.
NF
Yeah.
analogies.
It's like yeah, our atmosphere is just tailored a little bit. Mine might need more hydrogen, yours might need more nitrogen,
Mhm.
but the stuff in the atmosphere is the same.
Yes, it's
So,
great. It's
right? I know. Yeah.
That's, by the way, I'm so
Did
happy to
I-
have this. It's for like a brief moment in our little lives right now. I'm just so happy.
I'm
Like
so
one,
glad,
just
me
another
too.
NFP in my life that
Oh,
like, I'm super
dude,
glad
I'm
about.
here. Yeah, we should we can talk later about getting on your podcast. I'm excited about that.
Yes, yes, because I love, I don't know, like I was reading up on it, like podcasting and people. It's like getting the people you get with or have guests over are people you want to be able to work with, and you find yourself being able to work with like longer periods. Like it's an investment. It's like you
Hmm.
can be friends because there's a natural chemistry there
Yeah.
that I feel like is very real. And I believe that with a lot of the people I have on the show, because like
Yeah.
because I feel like that's what people want to hear is
Well,
just be
yeah, well, and that's,
normal.
I don't think you're going to ask someone that you don't think that there's some amount of chemistry with. You're not going to,
Yeah.
because you don't want to force it. Like, you're looking to, yeah, to like find those things in the
And
world.
people can tell, right?
Yeah,
People can
people
tell
can
when you're
tell. The
not
people
having,
who are listening to you, they're going to know right away. And
like you're rehearsed a little, like you're a little too robotic. And what they prefer is the more chill atmosphere is what it is, right? Like it's the
yeah,
thing.
right.
So yeah, we'll hit you up and see what happens.
Yay. Okay. Yeah. Get at
I'm
me. I
so
love
I'm
it.
so happy. This has made my day, by the way, Hill. Just want to let you know. This has
Thanks.
made the day. I mean the day is great, but the day is
Dude,
greater.
honestly, me too. This has like really pulled me out of just like the weirdness in the world. And yeah, I'm so thankful. This was so good.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, oh gosh. I mean, I have yet, by the way, to watch some of your videos, which I've been meaning to. Like
Oh,
I'm
well,
not a
some
big
of
fan
them
of
are
reading about.
short. Like if you don't want to invest a lot of time, if you just want to bop around, like if you want to laugh, do the impersonation videos.
Ooh, that sounds
That's,
great.
I mean,
Well, I'm gonna be making a
I've been on
pie
YouTube
tonight,
for
so
a
listen, maybe
while.
I'll have a video on, right? Like I'll have a video on and I'll be watching as I'm making pie. So we'll see how
Yes.
that goes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm just going to say bye to everybody and thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. If you like this video, give it a like. Go check out Nate's stuff. And if you have questions, comment, ask us stuff down below. We'd love to chat with you. So.
Follow this girl. The FI is good.
The FI is good, you guys. Okay, take care.
The NE is good with you. Like, the NE is fantastic. So,
Thanks.
all good in the hood. The life, man. The life.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Bye, guys. Take care.